I do see Mr. Thornton is present, the father.
Harry
Mr.
Ormsby here for, I have custody or legal guardianship of Jensen.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much. I think there was a previous hearing prior to my coming on as the new probate judge where there was some talk about dissolving the guardianship, but I've not seen any such motion. Where are we at with that or the need for that?
Your Honor, my client has been doing a lot of things. For instance, she has a job and she has good housing. She no longer has a guardian herself. And so she's progressing. Because I'm new to the case, I don't know what the GAL is looking for or what Mr. Ormsby is looking for the child to be returned to the parents. I'll let Mr. Thornton speak further, but I believe that he isn't necessarily in agreement with terminating the guardianship, but he can tell you more.
All right, why don't I just do this? I'll have everybody give me their thoughts as to that question and then the status of the case, and we'll just kind of go from there. So we'll start with Mr. Brad Thornton. You are the father. What are your thoughts, sir?
My thoughts are that this guardianship has been going on for almost 4 years now. Jensen has been in the care of Terry and Mike, and since the third day since he's been born. I believe that it would be in Jensen's best interest to stay where he is, as at this age it would be bad for his mental health to be pulled from his current home.
Okay. Are you seeing Jensen on a regular basis, sir?
Every other Sunday he does an overnight visit with me. My visitation time is Saturday night to Sunday morning.
Okay. I thought I'd read that someplace, but I couldn't remember specifically, so I appreciate that. All right. Terry Rocheleau Armsby, the guardian. How are things going from your perspective?
I agree with Brad. Like he said, we've had Jay since he was 2 or 3 days old. There was a time that Savannah hadn't seen him for 10 months. We had set up to where she could come over to my daycare. My daycare lady allowed her to come over and do visits there. The last visitation thing was supposed to be every other weekend. One gets them from Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday. And then the opposite weekends, it was supposed to be Sunday visits and then Tuesday visits. Brad, up until he got into a car accident, did everything like he was supposed to. Savannah has only ever done since the weekend visits started, that's the only thing that she's done. I don't feel that Jensen being almost 4 years old, you're going to pull him from where he's been for 4 years, the people that he's been with for 4 years, and put him into a home that he sees every other week for a day. And I think it's just going to cause problems. Like Brad said, I think it's going to cause mental issues. I've seen that happen with foster kids. I used to do foster care for 6 years, and I've seen that happen. And I don't think it's right to the child to remove him from what he's used to.
How is Jensen doing overall?
He's great. He actually is going to start school in the fall. He's healthy. We've never really had any major medical issues with him. He has no allergies or anything like that. Every once in a while he gets sick. He's had hand, foot, and mouth a couple times, but he's at a daycare 5 days a week. So.
Yep. Is he meeting his developmental milestones?
And then some, yes. He has a very large vocabulary and questions and full sentences, the whole shot.
Good.
Doing very good with potty training, the whole shot.
Outstanding. All right, Mr. Delaney, from your perspective as the GAL, where we at with number one, any type of motion for dissolving the guardianship, and then your thoughts on where Jensen should be and should stay?
I'll begin with that last question first. I know that Jensen is doing very well with Mr. Rochelot. We've spoken many times over the years about this case and other cases. I know his caretaking has been very good. So I certainly at this time support the continuation of that. The greater question is permanency for Jensen. As the court is aware, if this were an abuse neglect case by DHSS or DHHS, the department would come to the court and either request termination or say that the parents have met the goals of the department and they close the case. And what we usually do was look at whether there's a custody order out there behind this. If the parents aren't together, we tend not to just close the case and not have a path for them unless the department is satisfied that there is one. So I don't know if there's a underlying custody order. The court has the file and it looks like maybe Mr. Rochelot saying no. And going back to 2021, I can't even recall who initiated the guardianship to begin this. But for example, the court today would not simply dissolve the guardianship. That would toss this child up without a custody order, which parent takes the child. And I know the court's not going to do that. There would be chaos. But the other issue tied to this, Judge, is that the guardianship cannot continue forever. Even though that might be in his best interest, something has to happen in the future. So that would require a hearing before the court, a trial essentially, on if either one of these parents or both are capable of taking this child. We'd have to know that. We'd have to have a custody petition filed in this case. If that's not going to happen, then we would be looking at private adoption or private termination. That's going to be coming because let me just ask Mr. Rochelot, I know the parties know, is Jensen, how old is Jensen?
You're still on mute, Mr. Rochelot.
Yeah, he's trying to figure
There
it
we
out.
go. He'll be 4 on the 19th of October.
Okay, and you've had him since he was a baby, right?
Yeah, he was 2 or 3 days old.
Okay, so there has to be permanence, and he's right in that wheelhouse, Judge, of that age, that 4 or 5 year old age, where unless the court had an alternative to that this guardianship would continue until he was 18. I've not heard of that. It doesn't give permanence to the child. The child has to have a parent. So I know it's a long answer, Judge, but something has to give, as they say in this case. One of those two paths, either one of these parents are capable of having this child, and I don't know that, or there has to be someone to have this child permanently.
All right, thank you very much. I do see Ms. Mueller is with us and your attorney, Ms. Walker, is still here as well. Ms. Walker, did that give you a little better update as to the status of this case?
Yes, Your Honor. We have one issue. Both parents reside in Grand Traverse County, and they won't issue a custody order if there's a guardianship. So the two things would have to be concurrent.
Your Honor, and Marie, I'd also like to interject. There's some relevant information to Terry's statement that he neglected to share. The reason why I cannot meet one of the court mandates that requires me to do visitation in Gaylord separate from the overnights is during that time, my father was sick and dying from a terminal illness called PCP. And my parents are geriatric, so they don't live in the same county as me. They live in Houghton Lake. So my mom had to stay home and take care of my dying father. And I have a functioning neurological disorder, which means I had to figure out how to get treatment for that before they would let me get a license and be behind the wheel, because it means I have seizures, which I now have under control, and I am now working on getting my license. And the first 11 months was not my fault. Brad and I had a lot of relationship issues, which are not relevant to co-parenting. And we have separated since then, and we focus on a lot more co-parenting, and we're doing better now. But it wasn't because I didn't want to visit Jensen or refused to. Most of it was because my father was sick. Brad had kicked me out of his vehicle for the first 11 months, not 10. And I physically at the time could not drive. So it wasn't just that I simply wasn't going.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the information.
Yes, sir.
However, from a child's perspective, whether you have a good reason to be there or not doesn't make as much difference as being there. So from a child's perspective, missing parenting time is missing parenting time, even if there's a good reason for it. So here's where we're going to go. I agree with Mr. Delaney. The guardianship cannot be a long range or a long period of time solution. And I believe that all parties at this point have the best interests of Jensen at heart and in mind. But guardianship can't be the long-term solution. So we're either going to have to move towards the parents or parent, and depending on the proofs, taking custody and then the guardianship being removed, or the guardian requesting adoption and us moving forward with either consent by the parents or termination of parental rights by the parents. Both of those, ma'am, hang on. You'll get a chance in a minute, but let me finish. Both of those are going to be somewhat long-term, cumbersome processes. So we need to get started on them sooner rather than later. So here's what I would like to have occur. I would like to have Mr. Delaney or Ms. Walker, it doesn't matter to me which one does it, set up a meeting, can be via Zoom, can be however you want to deal with it, between all of the parties that are present today for a discussion of where we go next, either custody or adoption, and let's begin that process. It would be nice if we could all agree. I'm not suggesting that everybody's going to, and so I get that, but at least everybody will know where we're going to go next. And if you want to put those on parallel tracks, that's fine too. But we need to get off. Ma'am, you're going to have to wait. When I'm done talking, then I'll have a chance for everybody else to have a closing comment, but you're just going to have to wait. So we can have parallel tracks. That is, one party asking for custody and one party asking for adoption at the same time. And ultimately, there may be two courts involved. I don't know that. You may have to file in Grand Traverse County and then have that court contact me, and we'll try to, as best we can, accommodate them. I don't know of a way to stop the guardianship before the custody is in place, because I think that puts the child at risk. So we may have to have both of those things doing. And Mr. Rocheleau, if you want to file for adoption, or Mr. Thornton, if you want to take some other action, that's fine too. But we need to get things moving one way or the other. All right. Ms. Mueller, do you have a comment?
Yes, I was asking, would that mean mediation?
What it means is the parties talking together first, and if they can't reach a resolution and then they don't do anything, I may send you to mediation later. But right now it's just going to be informal talking to each other. I'd like them to have a Zoom conference call or some other type of conference call that the attorneys can set up so that you can all have a chance to speak with each other together. Because it doesn't appear to me that we've had that prior to today's hearing, which is why Ms. Walker had to request a status hearing to find out what's going on. So I think there needs to be some more communication between all the parties. And I'd like Mr. Delaney to be present for that, because I know that he has a wealth of information. No offense, Ms. Walker, but I don't know you, and Mr. Delaney's been around forever. So I've seen him, and I know what he can do. So that's my request at this point. Any other questions or any other comments from anybody else on the call?
Judge, I wanted to ask Ms. Walker if she has my contact information, my email.
They do not.
All right, let me just give that to you, okay?
Thank you.
The first part is DMD. Those are my initials, David Michael Delaney. Next part is lawyer, LAWYER. I know you can spell, but it's easier for the participants to hear that. DMDlawyer@gmail.com.
Thank you.
And then my telephone number, office number, it's on 24/7, so you can call Sundays if you want. I don't live here. Generally, area code 989-731-1508. And I think I have Terry's email, but hopefully everyone heard that information. And let's start by email. Let's circulate emails and set up a time. Terry and I could probably be in the same place for a phone conference, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Does that sound like a good path?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And
All right,
Brad, I'm sorry, Judge. Brad, we have your contact information, email, and everything?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's in a lot of the group messages.
All right, Terry can find it, and then.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. Thanks, Judge.
And I have Savannah's, so we're good.
Great.
Okay.
Ms. Walker, from your perspective, anything else that we need to do today?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, I'm going to set this for a status conference in 90 days. That should be more than enough time for you guys to get together and talk. Hopefully by then you guys will have decided to file something one way or the other, and you can tell me what the status of that is. And the reason I'm setting it for a status conference is just so that we don't lose it and it doesn't get lost in the cracks someplace, because I want things to move forward. And again, I'm not here deciding today which way it needs to move forward. That's entirely up to you guys as the parents and the guardian to decide what's the best for Jensen in your view. And I'd ask that all of you be open to thought processes from the other side or from the other perspectives. There's no one right answer necessarily, but just keep Jensen's best interest in mind, and we'll move forward from there. All right, I'll see you all in 90 days, and good luck. I hope things go well for all of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you. Responsibility. Guardianship encompasses all of the abilities to provide care, custody, and supervision, which does have some limited financial abilities. So yes, you have the ability to control her finances in her best interest and for her best interests. If you're going to get what's called letter of guardianship. I know you got one when we did the temporary one. If any of the financial institutions balks at that, you can get a more stringent or one that says that a little bit better. Right now, it says it very broadly. And we do that on purpose to make sure that it can be used in as many situations as possible. But if for some reason you can't get, or someone will not allow you to act on her behalf, you can get a more specific letter from the court that outlines what your duties are, or says in this particular instance, I grant you the ability to do that. But for now, yes, you have the ability to control her finances so that you can write checks or sign names. Now, you may have to take this letter of authority to the banks for them to allow you to do that, but this should allow you to do that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that because the bank was they were reluctant, and we have had some financial situations where if we only had guardianship for her help, and so they said they wouldn't give us any information or anything, and so now we will attempt to get some of those covered. Thank you very much.
The previous one was a temporary order, and some financial institutions are a little reluctant on temporary ones because they know it's going to end. This is a full guardianship with no end date on it. Now there will be annual reviews of that, and there's a form that typically you would fill out and submit to me prior to the next annual review date, so that I can have a little bit of information about Leanna while she's in care. But other than that, you would be responsible for her overall care, much like a parent would be for a child. That's probably the easiest analogy to remember.
Okay, now do I get paper to fill out, or do I request that in a year?
We're gonna send you a notice of when the hearing is gonna be in a year. And then
Okay.
either you can get the form either online, or you can call the court and the court can send you a copy of the form at that time that you can fill out and then send back into the court. And we'll have another call much like this over Zoom for that hearing. So you wouldn't necessarily have to come to the court.
Okay,
All right,
thank
any
you
other
so
questions
much.
that you have? All right.
Can't think of any. I appreciate your
All right.
time.
That's all for today. Keep taking good care of Leanna. We'll be good. All right. Thank you
Thank
all
you.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Yep. Bye now.
Are you thirsty? You want a drink? Oh, it's wonderful.
Excuse me. All right, the next case is in the matter of Donna Jean Peters. It's file 25-11139-GA-3. All right, I see Mr. Mamiser is here. See
Yes, Your Honor,
Mr.
guardian ad
Dickerson.
litem.
Thank you. I do see Eric Dickerson. Looks like he's here.
Yes.
I see an Ann's phone. Is that Ann Smith?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And I see Mr. Perry from Adult Protective Services. Are you here on this case or not?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, we originally had back in April a temporary guardianship order put in place to protect Donna. That was appointed Ms. Ann Smith as the temporary guardian at that time. We set today's hearing date for a review of that. Ms. Smith, could you give us an update of how things have gone since the temporary guardianship was put into place? Ms. Smith? Ms. Smith, can you hear me? Ann Smith, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
All right, I couldn't hear you before. Could you give me an update as to how things have gone on the temporary guardianship since April?
It's gone very well.
Have there been any changes in Donna's physical or mental or emotional state since that time?
No changes.
Have there been any issues or problems that you want to bring to my attention?
Just with my sister.
Not with Donna though, right?
No, not with Donna.
Has Donna's mental health stayed the same, improved, or regressed?
Stayed the same.
All right. All right, Mr. Mamiser, you have filed a letter dated May the 29th as the GAL. Could you summarize that for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I met with them on the 28th. Described to Donna what a guardian would be involved, and before I was even finished making the description, she was volunteering that that's exactly what she wanted Ann to do for her. I think she's in the early stages of dementia. I didn't see any of that while I was there, but both the doctors and Ann described that she's having memory issues and needs the help of a guardian. To be honest, Donna seemed absolutely enthusiastic about having this new relationship with her daughter. I don't know what else to say.
Well, good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your assistance on this. That was helpful. Mr. Perry, from your perspective and APS, what are your recommendations?
I recommend, if there's a need a guardian, that Ann Smith be nominated as that person. I can attest that Donna does have a waiver service in there, which is designed for nursing home level of care in the home, so folks can remain independent as possible. And I spoke with the managers of those programs, and they spoke with the direct hands-on caregivers, and do note confusion in memory, help with medications, in the absence of the services she currently has and Ann's role and authority, she would be declining in her self-care pretty quickly.
All right. Is it your opinion, based on your knowledge of her case, that she is without the capacity to care for herself at this time?
Yes.
And that is a function of her dementia and mental health?
Correct.
And do you believe that a guardianship is necessary as a means of providing continuing care and supervision of the individual?
I do.
And do you believe that Ann Smith would be the appropriate person to appoint to take that role?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. Eric Dickerson, as the son, do you have any objection to what's been proposed here?
I do not.
Do you believe that Ann would be the most appropriate person to be the guardian in this case?
Yes, I do.
Have you had contact with your mother recently?
No, I have not.
Okay. Are you aware of her circumstances that brought this guardianship request to the court?
Just based upon conversations with my sister, Ann. Yes.
All right. But you don't have any objection to any of this, and you believe this would be best for your mom?
I do.
All right. Is there anybody else that needs to give me any information at this point?
I am surprised that the other daughter did not appear, Karen. She stated that she was objecting to it. She stated I didn't give her enough notice to hire an attorney, but I advised her to appear anyway to list her concerns about it, and that this was an emergency hearing, so it was on the fast track.
All right. Has anybody had recent contact with Karen?
Donna has.
Ann, have you had any recent contact with Karen?
No, I have not, but Karen called Donna on Sunday and told her that she wanted nothing to do with her anymore. Same thing we go through all the time. Said she wasn't going to be around ever again.
What is the relationship historically been between Karen and Donna?
Well, Donna wants the relationship with Karen, but Karen can't handle relationships with other people. She comes and goes out of her life. She wakes her up at 10 o'clock at night telling her she's no good, not a good mom, all kinds of horrible things. And she did it again on Sunday. So it was a matter of 2-week time that Karen, was back in her life in the last 8 months. So,
is this a reoccurring thing with Karen?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, she's not here today, and I have not received anything in writing from her indicating that she objects or any basis for any objection to this. All of the other information that I have from the guardian ad litem, from Adult Protective Services, and from the family, is that Donna does need some assistance that guardianship could provide, and that her dementia has left her without the ability to care for herself properly without assistance, and that the family believes that Ann would be the appropriate person to give that care, custody, and supervision assistance. And so for all of those reasons, I do find by clear and convincing evidence that Donna's dementia has impaired her to the extent of lacking sufficient understanding or capacity to make or communicate informed decision, and is an incapacitated individual. And based upon that same clear and convincing evidence, that appointment of a guardian is necessary as a means of providing continuing care and supervision, and that the individual Donna is without the capacity to care for herself, And therefore I will appoint Ann Smith as a full legal guardian. And I will sign that documentation today.
Thank you.
All right, and you are going to be getting, I know you've gotten this once before, but it's called a letter of guardianship from the court. And this time, instead of being a temporary document, it will be a full legal letter of guardianship, giving you all the powers and duties and responsibility that a full guardian would have. You can use that document to go to financial institutions, health institutions, Social Security, any of those kinds of places, and make sure that Donna is receiving the care and financial support that she needs. If an institution has a question about it, you can certainly get something more specific from the court by filing a request for that. But this should suffice for all of those reasons. In addition to that, we will set a review hearing in approximately a year. That's a normal course of things for the guardianship so that I can keep track of them and make sure that things are being done appropriately. There's a short, I think it's a 2-page document that you fill out shortly in advance of that next court hearing in a year to let me know how things have been going. And you can either get that from the court, or I think we have it online. Either way, you can get it from there and fill it out and send it in. We'll send you a notice in the next year to make sure that you would know when the next court date is, and it would be over Zoom, so you don't necessarily have to come to court to do that. If you change your address, and we have you on Turtle Lake, excuse me, I don't know if that's your address or not. Yes, Turtle Lake Road in Joburg, is that correct?
Yes, 9418.
Yep. So if you change that, please let the court know so that we can get that hearing notice to you in approximately a year from now. Any other questions that you have, ma'am?
Nope.
All right. To everyone else on the call today, thank you very much for your assistance. I appreciate it. Continue to take good care, and we'll see you in approximately a year. Thank you.
Thank you. Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
All right. The next case for the court's consideration is in the matter of Matthew Loffridge. It's file 15-9091-DD. Who do we have with us today?
Good morning, I'm Cliff Lorridge, Matthew's dad, my wife Tina, Matt, and then our CMH worker, Bobby.
Hi, Your Honor.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, this is a 5-year review. How are things going overall?
Good. Matt in the last 5 years had a little bit of an episode with mental health issues where we had to work with the hospital to get a psychiatrist on board with CMH, and the meds are under control now, where he's doing much better with that. He was having some issues with anger and just out of control things where we were able to get that worked through and get that back under control now, and he's doing well with that.
He looks like he's in agreement with that, so it sounds like that was a good thing. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much for letting me know. How's he doing? Where does he live at? What does he do on a regular basis? That sort of thing.
Lives with his mom and myself.
Okay.
5 days a week he goes to Crossroads, which is a program for special needs folks, for just getting in the community and doing outings and crafts and different things like that. So
it's a great program.
On weekends we do camping and we've got grandma that stays with us part-time too. That's 92, and we do casino therapy with her. So
Gotta enjoy that.
So Matt goes along for that too, and for dinners and things like that. So
all right, you mentioned briefly that you kind of stabilized his medications. Is there any other medical or mental health treatment that he's been engaged in the last 5 years?
About 2 months ago, I think, wasn't it, Bobby?
I think so.
Yeah, about 2 months ago, he had a seizure, which was his first seizure in 14 years. So we've had EEGs done and MRI done, and we've got to follow up with the neurologist on the 18th of June.
Yeah.
And
so
to see
all
what's
that's going well, though?
Yeah.
All right. And you've kept up with his normal routine doctor visits, the dental and the eyes and the ear, nose and throat and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do that too sometimes.
Get his oil checked and changed.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Is there anything that he, any social activities other than what you've already stated, or any other educational issues that he's going through at the moment?
No, everything's pretty stable with Matt, so.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that he needs that he does not have access to at this point?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
Is his overall health basically the same? Is it getting better? Is it declining? Which would you say?
I would say he's actually improved as far as after the medication changes, he was able to drop about 70 pounds.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Nice
So-
job, Matthew.
Now, after the last seizure medication change, he's put 20 back on. So we're gonna work with the doc on that to see about the
Gonna have
medicine.
to have him walk the dog a little lot more often.
He wants to.
All right. And Matthew, do you want to tell me anything?
Yeah, probably could.
Things are going pretty good for you?
I mean, we had a lot of problems sometimes. You know, we've been fighting a lot. We've been fighting all the time.
We have not been fighting all the time. We used to fight before you got your medicine fixed.
We used to fight for my medicine too.
So
yeah.
Now that you've been taking your medicine, is things going better?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like everything is going as well as can be expected. I'm pleased that Matt has lost a lot of weight. I'm pleased that he's got back on a good medication now so that he can enjoy life and he can enjoy the family life. Is there anything from community mental health's perspective that you want me to know?
No, Your Honor, I think Matt's doing really well, and I visit him monthly, usually at Crossroads, to see how he's doing with his activities and outings, and he's I enjoy working with him and been able to work really well with his mom and dad as well. We're hoping that he can attend camp later this summer. We're working on the paperwork for that, and
That would be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it your opinion that the guardianship continues or needs to continue because Matt's not able to do these things without some assistance?
Yes, it is. I agree with the guardianship.
Yeah.
All right, and you believe that mom and dad are the best choice for guardians at this point?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you very much. Anything else from the family that you want me to consider at this point?
I don't think so.
the only thing I might just interject is I actually had 16 years around traumatic brain injury homes. So I've got the advantage of having that background as well. I've since got out of that because it was taking up too much time, and I got into a position that's 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So I have more time home with Matt, and it just works better. And I have a life again. So, but
I'm happy to hear that for you, but I appreciate the background knowledge. So thank you very much. All right, I will continue the guardianship. It does appear that Matt is doing well in this placement, and that you are providing for all of his needs, mental, emotional, physical. And I thank you for that. It's good to see a family that enjoys being with each other. It's clear from Matt's face and his speech and his body language that he's enjoying where he's at, and it's the best place for him. So I appreciate all of that. So we will continue this matter as is, and we'll set another review in 5 years. And I look forward to hearing great things again at that point. So thank you all very much.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
You too, sir.
All right, the next case is in the matter of David Finn. That's file 24-10965-CA. I see Mr. Finn is with us. Who's with you, David?
Brenda Holloway.
All right, thank you very much. I see Ms. Johnson is here as well as the conservator. This is a petition to modify the conservatorship. First, I'm going to hear from David and Mom, and then I'll hear from Ms. Johnson as to your thoughts on this. So David, why is it that you're asking for a change in the conservatorship?
There's been a communication breakdown. I've had, infections where I need to get medication, and Stephanie's telling me get it through the mail. I, give the pharmacist payment information. Ask her to give the payment, get it through the mail. During the ice storm, I needed, money. She's offered me a wire transfer. Then she can't give me the wire transfer because there's no internet, but she's able to leave her house, even though she wasn't able to do so the day before. She's unreliable. There seems to be a mass incompetence there. I'm getting a lot of not right numbers to say.
I don't know that you need to call names. All you need to tell me is what happened.
It's been a nightmare. I've been starving most of the time. She's told me she's supposed to be meeting with me quarterly to go over my finances. I've not seen her since September of last year. I currently have no idea where my money is, how much is there, where it's going to. I don't know what's going on with it. And I've tried asking her about that, and I basically I don't have to tell you anything.
I find that hard to believe.
I have a recording.
Why do you need a conservatorship to begin with?
I don't. It was supposed to be a representative payee. So my mom was representative payee. She had to get divorced because her husband was abusive and trying to get in my finances for Social Security. She took herself off as a representative payee. Social Security told me you have to find another one. I went to the circuit court. Circuit court told me to go probate court. I went to the probate court officer. I told her I need a list of representative payees. She goes, "What's a representative payee?" So I gave her a basic description of what they do. She goes, "Oh, you mean conservator?" I didn't know what a conservator was. I looked it up on Google. They sounded exactly the same. I was like, sure. So she gave me a list of 3 names. Stephanie's name's on there. I called all 3 names for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I got no response. I went back to the probate court. I go, I needed updated information for all 3 of them because no one's answering. Carmen goes, "Have you tried calling Stephanie?" I was like, "Yeah, multiple times." "Oh, here, let me get a hold of her for you." Next thing I know, I'm walking home. Stephanie's texting me on how to walk through and set me up as my conservator for the petition. I started to have issues with Stephanie where she's wanting money for checks where it's not needed. I go to probate court to remove her. Carmen charges my credit card, says, "I'm not going to file this because you don't have the proper paperwork." Hands my credit card to Stephanie, calls Stephanie up there to come get me. Paperwork hasn't been pushed through Social Security yet until Stephanie's sitting in the parking lot and does it there on the phone. I was able to manage all my bills before. I was paying them before my mom when she was my representative payee. I just basically asked her for a rent check, turn it in, pay all my bills on time. There was no late fees. Yes, I did have to tap into the credit card every now and then for food, but cost of living adjustment, live and learn. The original reason for the representative payee, when I first moved on my own, I was scammed out of $10,000 by my first neighbors ever. The disability lawyer went to court. I never stepped foot in the courtroom. He made a deal with the judge that, my mom would represent me, take care of my finances. The lawyer literally died 24 hours after the deal was made and the case was won. And I just have not been able to get into a Social Security office to actually change it over to myself. But it's been one cascading failure after another.
How many different conservators have you asked to be changed from?
Stephanie's my first conservator ever.
How many different people have you had helping you that you've changed?
Can you define helping, please?
You know what helping means, sir.
A conservator or representative payee, both, or because right now I got the service coordinator helping me with trying to get the communication error resolved with Stephanie, and that's not working. I've tried going through legal aid. I've had to call Adult Protective Services for myself. March 7th, they came to me like middle of April and asked them to wait till March 7th to file up with Stephanie because I was supposed to be getting $200 birthday bonus that she said for birthdays and holidays. It never happened. They followed up with her on March 7th. That day, the debit card got locked that she gave me to go get groceries with. I was not able to get groceries. The next day, it's unlocked, and she's texting me, "Hey, let me get a hold of you for finances."
Mr. Finn, the question was, how many people have you gone through that have been trying to help you with your finances?
2.
All right. Mom, what's your perspective on all of this?
I do believe he does need to have a representative payee. He does not need to have a conservator. I've been helping him out with groceries because he's not been access to money to get groceries. He has celiac disease. He's expressed just to Stephanie that, you know, his groceries are expensive. And she does not release extra funds to him when she has the funds. Also, you know, to get prescription, it was an emergency he had to go to the emergency room. It was an eye infection. He didn't have funds with him to get the prescription. And she had money in his account to get to him so he could get that prescription for his eye infection. And instead of helping him get that prescription, I had to draw money out of my own pocket so he could get that prescription to get his eye infection treated. So I don't think this conservatorship is good for him. He doesn't need a conservatorship. He does need a representative payee. The reason the representative payee is because he can be talked into easily. Not anymore. When he was first diagnosed, it was, you know, he was gullible and naive and could be talked into things. He does have a doctor's, you know, note that he doesn't need conservatorship.
All right, Ms. Johnson, from your perspective, how have things been going?
I will agree that things have been rough, but they're way out of context here because everything, when I read the note that he had attached to the modification of guardianship, it was really, it's way out of context. It's not true. The eye medication, I can't get a call at midnight and you expect me to bring you something at 6 a.m. It just doesn't work like that. I didn't have a debit card connected. The things that he wants from me are he tells me to jump and I jump right now. And I have 9 other people besides my own family that I'm acting for. And I work a full-time job. So I can't just jump when you want me to jump. And that's why I do have certain measures in place. And I do have certain, I'm on a schedule, on a monthly schedule for when I do things. And I'm always active. And I did tell David that I tell all my clients, I will meet you once a month to review your finances, to review what you've spent it on. And when I did try to do that with you in the beginning. And the conversation that you're talking about, where I did say, you know, I'm doing this to be nice, but I don't have to do this once a month. I do have to do it quarterly, I believe, but I don't have to do this once a month to go above and beyond to explain these things to you. I do it because this is how I would want someone to act for me. So there's a reason, like the things in here you're saying they're just way out of context. And as far as not giving you enough money for groceries, you get $350 every 2 weeks in addition to a food card. And that's $350 just for personal spending. I don't know another person. I don't have any other clients that live on Social Security that just have $350 to just spend on whatever they want, you know, here and there. And so really, you know, I thought I've handled your case. I in the beginning gave you, you know, all the free will to stay in it. And I've done, you know, I've never done things electronically. I always do a paper trail for everything, but you were the first case that I went and got you your own card so that you could do online gaming and stuff with. And so I've really tried to make this work with you. But if you don't tell me that there's a problem, I'm not a mastermind reader. I can't make things work if you don't tell me that you need them to work. And I can't just jump when you need me to jump. I just can't do that. So with those expectations, I would agree that you'll need a different conservator because I can't act in that capacity. Maybe a mom can, but I cannot.
Ms. Johnson, from your perspective, does he need a conservator or would a representative payee be sufficient?
My opinion would that be that he would need a conservator. I think a representative payee, he would try to steamroll. He does get quite angry. I've had 3 different occasions where I've been out in the community talking to him and have had people call me afterwards to make sure I'm okay. He stopped at my work unannounced one time when I was not there, and my boss literally called the police station because she thought I was in danger. So I think that he would steamroll a representative payee. I think there has to be some very clear boundaries because he does get angry if you don't do what he wants you to do. That's my opinion in dealing with him thus far.
All right. Mom, are you asking to be the conservator or are you asking that I terminate the conservatorship and allow you to be the personal representative payee?
Yes, definitely.
Well, that was an either or, so you need to tell me which you just answered yes to.
Definitely terminate the conservatorship and I would take back the representative payee. And I was there the day he was at her office.
You understand that gives him access to all of his funds without somebody looking over his shoulder other than you.
Correct. And we have absolutely no problems with any of that.
That means that you may end up being responsible in the past, like you did in the past, for paying some of his bills if he overspends.
Yeah, he doesn't overspend.
You already told me that he did, right? Because you had to front him some money to go to the store with.
I didn't have any cash on hand.
He didn't have any cash on hand, but he had money that Stephanie had, and she would not release any additional funds. She split his
because it was never asked. It was never asked.
Hang on. No, sorry. We're not arguing today. We're not arguing.
I apologize.
Thank you. Mom, I just want to make sure that you understand that he could do that. He could overspend and you wouldn't be able to necessarily stop him. And then you may be liable for some of the bills that he runs up. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
You would also be subject to him using the same tactics on you that he attempted to use on Ms. Johnson by overwhelming her or arguing with her or intimidating her. Do you understand all of that?
Correct. Yes.
And knowing all that, you still wish for me to terminate the conservatorship and grant you the opportunity to become his representative payee?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your
You know
Honor.
that you're going to have to apply for that representative payee position, that's not something that the probate court does. You're going to have to go to the place where he gets his disability from or his governmental services from, and you're going to have them designate you as the representative payee. That the probate court does not make that representation.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you understand all of that?
Yep.
Knowing all that, do you still want me to terminate his conservatorship?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to grant your request. I don't know that it's necessarily the best thing to do, but at this point, if he can handle it, great. If he can't handle it, he needs to learn that he can't handle it. It needs to be a little more respectful to the people that are assisting him. It is an assistance. It is not him telling them what to do. Do you understand that, Mr. Finn?
Correct.
Yeah.
Good. So I expect you to treat your mother as you would in public in front of everybody else. That is with goodness and grace and love. You understand that?
She's my goddess. Yes.
All right. Then I hope that we don't have any problems with this. I'm gonna sign an order that terminates the conservatorship. Ms. Johnson, you have our thanks. We appreciate all the time and effort and energy that went into this. Please close out your conservatorship. Send us a final tally if you would, please. and bill us for the time that you have there. I appreciate your efforts and your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for today. We'll mail the court's orders out to everybody.